Once upon a time, on a perfectly ordinary day in medieval Italy, Bologna and Modena, two cities constantly at odds. It wasn't their first or last rivalry, but this time it was over something strange. Something no one would expect. Yes, that's right, a bucket. A simple wooden bucket. So, how did it all happen? Well, it wasn't a coincidence. One day, the soldiers from Modena decided to go on a little, let's say, fun excursion to Bologna. Why? Just because they could. And while they were there, they wanted to bring back a trophy, something Bologna would miss. Gold? Too flashy. The city banner? Too obvious. And then they stumbled upon a bucket near the city fountain and thought to themselves, why not? And so the bucket became theirs. It sounds like an innocent theft, right? But not for Bologna. The theft of the bucket became a matter of civic pride. A bucket, a simple wooden bucket, became a symbol of lost honor. Bologna wasn't about to sit idly by. No, their plan was clear: to get the bucket back at all costs, even if it meant going to war. And so, Bologna mobilized its army. Yes, you heard it right. There was no small matter, but a massive military operation. They summoned up to 30,000 men. Soldiers who probably had no idea why they were fighting over a piece of wood. But orders are orders. After all, the honor of the city was at stake. On the other hand, Modena, a smaller city, had far fewer soldiers, around 5,000, but even they were determined to defend the bucket. The climax of this absurd conflict came at the Battle of Zappolino. As they say, everything starts innocently, but ends in blood. This was no exception. Both armies met on the battlefield, and now imagine this: tens of thousands of men on both sides, all going at each other over a bucket. Of course, it wasn't the only reason. Bologna and Modena had long-standing disputes over land and political influence. But at the heart of it all, a wooden bucket. The battle unfolded like a dramatic medieval epic. Bologna's soldiers, more determined than ever, charged into the attack, while Modena's defenders held their positions. Swords clashed, spears collided, and above all the chaos hung the question: who would rule the bucket? The fight was fierce. But Modena had the upper hand. Though they had fewer men, they were faster and more strategic. After several hours of relentless combat, Bologna began to lose its strength. Instead of glorious victory, they were forced to retreat, humiliated and defeated. And what was the outcome? The bucket stayed in Modena. Yes, a simple wooden bucket. And what's more, Modena proudly displayed it in their main tower, where it remains to this day as a reminder of one of the most bizarre conflicts in history. Bologna never got their bucket back. Hundreds of soldiers dead, massive losses on both sides, all because of a piece of wood. But for the people of Modena, it wasn't just a bucket. It was a symbol of victory, and for Bologna, a symbol of lost honor. So, does it seem exaggerated to you? Well, in the Middle Ages, reasons for war were often strange. But then again, a rational reason for war doesn't really exist. After all, human lives are worth more than territorial gains or the wealth of a few individuals. Maybe not much like has changed after all. Just remember, next time someone steals your favorite bucket, maybe it's not just a random act. Maybe it's the beginning of something much bigger. Thank you for watching. We are the channel History School. Subscribe us and see you next time.